Obviously, a great win. Kind of a weird game, to be honest with you. I thought we did a great job early. I mean, their starter's good, and we were able to get him out early. They go to Becker and take some really good swings off him in the first. Then he kind of settled in with that breaking ball and was landing it, moving it around. We kind of weren't on time with it. But we finally adjusted and made that adjustment in the eighth, and guys just had tremendous at-bats all around. I mean, that eighth inning was what this offense is capable of doing. It was just one after another. It was the short game. It was the homer. It was the hit by pitch. It was everything in there, and that's what this offense is all about. Obviously, on the pitching side, I thought Ben Hess was awesome. I thought he was a different dude tonight. I thought he was attacking. I thought he was confident. And then there towards the end of the start, just got himself in a little bit of trouble. I thought the one negative, and I think on the pitching staff as a whole, is just too many freebies. I think we walked or hit, 12 guys tonight. And it's not a recipe for success, especially against a lineup that has some dangerous hitters there. But what I'll give them credit for is if you're going to walk 12, you better punch out 14. And that's what they did tonight. So not what we want. Too many leadoff walks, too many free guys on base. But those guys competed for us. They didn't have great stuff as a unit, but, man, they competed their tails off. And when they needed to make a pitch, they made a pitch. And we're able to keep it even. And then we heard Dixie land a light in the eighth, and we're able to get rolling there and get it rolling. So that was a fun win. Good win for the boys tonight.
Kade, you kind of started off that eighth inning rally with the 2 RBI double. Can you just kind of walk us through that at bat?
Evan Slight did. He didn't get out of the way of a pitch, and he started the inning. And man, I got a pitch I could drive, and I stayed on it for as long as I could, and ended up getting some RBIs out of it.
Ian, you had a couple of good hits tonight. Kind of what were you looking for at the plate, and what was kind of working for you?
Just looking for using my plan, as always, talking to the other hitters. And kind of understanding what those pitchers are going to try to do to us. And we found out pretty quick, the starter had a pretty good changeup, and we really struggled with it at first, and it took us a little while to get going. But once we started getting going and hunting elevation, as we work on all the time with guys that are going to try to live down in the zone, and have some good stuff, some good sink, and some good run on pitches, we just executed. So really just looking for something out over the middle. Then that last kid had a really good curveball, and the fastball was good enough to keep you off the curveball. So I was just looking for something to drive with 2 outs, and there was no job to be done other than put the ball in the gap or hit it over the fence. So I was kind of just trying to keep my swing together, not run out of barrel, and just get the job done.
13 runs, but only 2 homers with you and Evan each having one. What's that say about the versatility of this offense? You can still cross that many. You don't need to rely on the long ball exclusively.
It's unbelievable to score 13 runs and not hit the long ball is kind of astounding, especially what I'm kind of used to, coming from Maryland, and even in the beginning of the year when we really were slugging the ball really good. We haven't been slugging it as well, besides TJ and Gage Miller. I mean, those guys slug the baseball every day. But it's kind of nice to just continue to stick to our plans and show what the pack offense is all about, which is literally what Kade said. Evan Slight doesn't move his feet, and that's what we do. That's what we do, and then it just starts coming from there.
George, your team has had big innings all year. You talk about stringing together at-bats all the time. How much have you seen them grow in that area up to this point?
Yeah, it's funny. I told the guys out there, we saw it in the preseason, and even in the fall a little bit. Us as coaches talked about it a lot. It's there's situations where you'll have a guy in and you see our arms. I mean, when you're facing Moser when he's good and Hess when he's good and Quick when he's good, those guys are going to get you at times. But the one thing that this group does is when they get rolling, it's a dang steamroller at that point, and I told them it's like a race to the bat rack, and it's the hits come in bunches a lot, and they feed off each other, and I think that's what really good teams do is they don't let up. They just keep coming. You look at it, and we take that, after Kade slugs that ball in the gap, you go up by 3. It's easy, and a lot of teams are like, okay, we're good. We've got AD in the bullpen. That's 3. We're in a good place right there. And it's almost like you let the foot off the gas. But Gassetti gets a perfect sack down. We pinch hit. Hammy, perfect sack fly. And then just set it back up and keep going. And so I think that's what this group's done since August, really, man. When they get going, it's a heck of a lot of fun, and I can just sit back and watch and have a good time with it.
You guys are now 16-1 at home. How pivotal are these conference games for you guys, specifically in Sewell Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last weekend. I mean, winning on the road's tough, you know, and in college baseball in general, I feel like people have heard me talk about that a lot. It's just, it's tough on these dudes, man. Like all the stuff they have to balance, and then, you know, last weekend you're on the road. It's a doubleheader. It's weather. That's just college. It's college sports, you know. And so when you're home, especially against a team that's as talented as that team, I mean, that team has elite pitchers. They've got one of the best hitters, and he didn't do a lot tonight, but Petrutz elite. That guy's good. Messina, I feel like, has been in college for 8 years, and if you make a mistake, he's dangerous. Same thing with their leadoff guy, Parker Nolan. The dude's got a ton of college at bats. Spent his whole career at Vandy up till this. Like, there's just length through that, and they're tough and they're old. And when we're home, man, that I saw, you know, yesterday obviously we had the basketball game. We were probably battling with crowd wise a little bit, but man, I saw those guys filling up the right field bleachers before we got going today, and I knew it was going to be a rowdy group, and it's a lot of fun, man. When those guys get rolling, it is fun, and that place gets loud. So we've been good at home. Everybody's good at home, but we've done our job when we needed to. We got a big one tomorrow to finish this weekend.
And yeah, for the players, how do you guys feed off of that? Like for that energy for the crowd, like to be able to score this many runs also?
Oh man, it means a lot, especially whenever they're playing Dixieland Delight and everybody's getting into it. And, of course, our dugout's also getting into it. And, you know, it's kind of a comfort thing, you know, like just taking it all in and kind of letting it just spark everything. So, yeah, I appreciate the crowd with everything I got.
Coach Vaughn, you said a little earlier about right field and how they got really rowdy tonight. How, when y'all are on a roll, how do they feed into the game and add to the momentum that y'all create?
It's just awesome. I mean, the energy, and that's one thing it's just so neat about playing baseball in this league is it literally feels like a regional every single weekend. Whether you're at home or on the road, it's a heck of a lot more fun when they're behind you. I can tell you that. You know, him and I played together for the last few years. Kade's spent his time at junior college the last few years, and it's new to us, you know, and it's just something that you just can't take for granted. It's a lot for those guys to show. There's a million things college students could be doing on a Saturday evening, and instead they choose to come out and support this group, and that's not unnoticed to our boys. It's not unnoticed to our coaching staff, and it's fun, man. When it gets rolling, it's fun. Like that ball goes off, you see off his bat there late, you see the whole group pop up, you know it's running out of there, and it gets electric. Watching our boys run through and high-five them at the end of the games, like, shoot, I hope I'm here for a really, really long time, and I don't think that's ever going to get old.
And you're out there in the outfield with Evan. What do you make of the way he has embraced them? It's the first place he points after he sends one out there. He's talked about it in here. He's tagging them on social media and stuff. What do you think of all that?
I think it's awesome. I mean, Evan's the most like humble, compassionate, just bone-to-bone leader I've ever met, like ever been able to have as a mentor to me. And just watching him treat the crowd, treat us, treat teammates, treat himself, and just the way he takes care of business every day. It's remarkable how big of a role model that kid is, and he's just gonna keep coming. And I'm taken back by the way he handles business every day and the way he treats people.
Sorry.
No worries.
Coach Mason Swinney and William Hamner both came into the game. I know Hamner's kind of been in and out of the starting rotation the last couple games. Mason Swinney's primarily been playing second base with Bryce Evelyn being out. What have you seen about their growth and kind of the big plays they've been making no matter where they come in so far this season? Yeah,
I think every good team, everybody wants to be the starting shortstop. Everybody wants to hit in the 3-hole. The best teams, the guys that kind of go in and out of the lineup and kind of are quote-unquote role players, they take pride in what they do. It's not a coach is pinch hitting for me. Yeah, I'm sure Mace wanted that last at bat. But when I go to Hammy, Mace is standing right next to me screaming for Hammy to get a hit. Like, that's why this team's good. It's not good because we have good arms. It's not good because we can hit. It's good because they care about each other, they love each other, and all they want to do is win. And whatever they got to do to contribute to winning is what they want to do. And that we preach that all the time. Coach Saban preached that all the time throughout his career here. Just do your job. Whatever your job is, just get out there and do it that day. And then we'll flip the card. And when we make decisions, it's great. Like, there's times I'm gonna make the wrong one. I'm just gonna put that on the radar. I'm gonna bring the wrong pitcher in. I'm gonna pinch hit a guy and he's gonna punch out terribly. It's gonna happen. But man, those guys have just embraced whatever it takes to win. And Mace has done that. Hammy's done that. Hammy's a hometown kid, man. That guy loves this place. I heard him on the bus when we were watching the NCAA basketball tournament the other day, screaming at the TV if we weren't getting rebounds. Like, that dude just loves Alabama, and whatever they need to do to make this team win is what they're doing. They're embracing it. They're growing from it, and it's a heck of a lot of fun when you have 12 or 13 guys impacting the game and not 7 or 8. And that's one thing this group is, they love each other. They love each other, and I think that's what makes it fun to coach every day.
Kade, when you're out there hitting as a two-way guy, how much are you trying to, if at all, put yourself in the mindset of a pitcher, given that you do it yourself?
Normally, I just don't think when I get up there. I think that's kind of been my MO on everything. But no, I can see, like, if I see it pop, if I know it's a bad pitch. I mean, I've made plenty of bad pitches, so I know kind of what to hunt. And if I get that pitch, I just know just to stay through it, whether it be a fastball, curveball, changeup. I mean, if you leave it up, it's probably not where they were intended for it to go. And trust me, I know if you leave a ball up in the SEC, it'll get pounded. So, yeah, just sticking with my approach and just finding something that's in the damage zone and rocking with it.
Yeah, Kade, you were still in the lineup at the DH this past weekend. You've been able to take advantage, have some good at-bats, and that 2 for 4 tonight. What's been working for you at the plate?
Man, there's no pressure in the lineup. If I'm not going to do it, Hodo's going to do it. If Bronny's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. Really and truly, it's just about trust throughout the whole lineup. I'm not one time have I been scared in that dugout thinking that we weren't going to come back and do something crazy. I expect it. That's just how I feel now.
Anything else? All right.
Thanks, guys. Roll Tide.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.